Okay, today we are going to be talking about using Revit for reinforcement of a base, a column, a beam, and a slab. These are the basic building blocks of almost every structure that we will come across. Okay, so the first thing, we go here to where it says levels here. I'm going to go to this, to the south pole, to the south, so that I adjust the levels. Okay, this is level 1, which is the ground level. Okay, let me just reduce it here. Okay, I'm going to change this one to top of base level. Okay, let me just say 0 0 TOB, which means top of base. Okay, then I'm going to go to, maybe this is going to be the ground level. I'm going to say 0 1 and say GL for ground level. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to move this one I want to move it down to, let's say, minus 2000, so it's 2 meters below ground level. Okay, I'm going to move this one to 0, which is the ground level. Okay, I'm going to add another level by clicking on this level icon. Okay, I'm going to add a level here. It doesn't matter where I have added the line. I can then adjust this, or I can adjust here. Okay, let's say this is 3 meters above. I'm going to escape. I'll click on this one. I'm going to change the dimension between, let's say I reduce it to 1500, like that. It will then align to then measure from this one and move this one. Okay, let me put it at let's say 3 meters, 3 m. That means 3 meters, as you can see. Okay, now this level I'm going to mark it as the first floor level, 0 2, first floor level. Okay, I think I'm done now. These are the 3 levels that I'm going to be using. Okay, now if I double click on this one, I've gone to this level here. I'm going to look at a plan view of this level. Okay, let's say this is where I am. Let me add two rows of columns and two. Okay, let me just do this. I'm going to add 2 lines here. These are called grid lines from here to there. As you can see, it's 1. Okay, then I'll use this peak line 2, so that I add another 2. I want it to be, let's say, 3 meters apart, 3m. Then if I do this, you see it can either go on top or under. Let me choose the on top part. Okay, now I'm going to add another line. I click on this one. Then I'm going to reduce the offset to 0. I'm going to add another line here. Okay, instead of marking it as 3, I'm going to mark it as A. As you can see, then I'm going to pick a line just like I did. Let's say this I'm going to use, let's say 5 meters, 5,000. Okay, I'm going to pick a line like, okay, let me undo that one. I'm going to put 5 meters in this direction. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 columns, a column here, 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 and here. Okay, let me just move this so that it looks cleaner and simpler. Let me just do the same on this side here. Okay, now I'm at this level, which is ground level, which is somewhere in between. Okay, if I go to this level, which is right at the top there, the first floor level, okay, I'm going to have a column from this point down to the ground, to the footing. Okay, so for me to do that, I will then have to choose this one. This one is the column 2, and I click on this one. Structural column is the one that I want. I can go to this column, to structural, and just select column, or I'll choose there and select the structural column. This is going to be a steel member. I'm not interested in a steel member, so I'm going to change it to a concrete one. This is a rectangular concrete one. Let me just go here and select this. Okay, so as you can see, that is the column that I have. Now I want it to go downwards, so depth is what I will select. Then I want it to go all the way to 0. As you remember, I marked them from 0, 0. This is here. Okay, you can see. If I want to rotate it, I press space bar, and then I orient it in that way. It resists a bigger moment in this axis, so I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, before I do anything else, let me just do a bit of editing. If you select here, and let's say for some instance I want to change the dimensions of this column, I can go here and go to load like this. Then I will load. I can do it by loading in another column, or I can change the one that I have by duplicating. I will then go on to do that. Okay, let me just go back a bit. Okay, I'm going to go back twice here, maybe 3 times, so that I'll go to the columns that I have. I normally use this Revit 2017. I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to be using the South African library. Then in the South African library, I'm going to go to structural column here. Let's say I want to use a square one. If you check from the previous list, there was no square column, so I'm going to use a concrete one. Then I'm going to use this square column. Okay, let me select this one. As you can see, it appears this one is round, this one is square. I'll select the square one and click on open. Then it will then load it into this. As you can see, it has only one dimension, which is B here. It's going to be 300. Let's say this is the one that I want to use. I'll then click OK. It has loaded this column into this thing. As you can see, this is what happens. Let's say I want it to be 400 by 400. Okay, instead of doing that, I'll go here. Instead of loading, I will then duplicate. This one is called 300 by 300. Let me change it to 400 by 400 here. Now, when I have changed this, it's just the naming that has changed. As you can see here, the dimension still reads 300. I'm going to change this one to 400 like that. Okay, this is how it's done. If you want to change by adjusting the one that you have, then I'm going to click on the OK button here. As you can see, it has changed to the 400 by 400. I'm going to edit here. Instead of me placing it one by one like this, I can choose to do undo. Let me do undo this one and that one. I can set it to grid like that. Then I will select these grids. As you can see, they've been placed on all the grids here. Okay. Then I'll click on this arrow here, and it's done. As you can see, it's going all the way to the top of slab. If I were to go to the north, you can see it's coming from all the way from this right down to the top of base. Okay, you can even see the 3D here. This is the 3D representation of these bases and columns. Okay, as you can see. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to add in my beams here. Okay, so there are ways of calculating the depth of the beam according to what I know. According to what I know, when it comes to calculators, let me use this calculator here. Okay. For a fixed beam, if you have a beam that is fixed on both sides, okay, you say the span, the clear span being the distance from the face of this column, you divide this one by 12. Then you come up with the depth, roughly the depth of the beam. Okay, which means we've got 4500. Let me just adjust that one. 45. Okay, let me just. It's 4600. I'll then divide this one by 15. We'll get a depth of about 300. Okay, so this beam could have been only 300, but in this instance, I want us to see it more visually or better, I want it to appear better. So I'm going to go here to where under structure of where it reads beams there. Then when I click there, this one is going to be a steel beam. I'm not interested in a steel beam. I'm going to do an edit. I'm going to, these are all steel beams, okay. I'm going to first of all choose a concrete one here. Let me choose this concrete one. This one is 300, this one is 400 by 100. Let me choose this one, 300 by 600, okay. Now, you can edit its dimensions here by duplicating and changing these parameters here, or you can load another one. I'm not really interested in that. I'm just going to use this one as it is. And I'll click on the OK button. Now, I can click on the center of this, the center of that one, okay. Then from the center of that one to the center of that one. Then when I'm done, I will click escape twice. I'll select this one. I want to copy it. I'll click on the copy. I'll click on the center here and then click on the center here. I've copied. Then I'll hit escape twice. Then I'll select this one. I'll copy it. I'll click on the copy. I'll just redo what I did with the other one. As you can see, if you go to the 3D model, this is going to be how it's going to appear. These are the beams. These are the. Now I want to go to the base here. I think for today I'll just end on reinforcement of the base, the column, and the beams. So let me go here. This is the ground level. Okay, let me go right down to the bottom where we have the bases. These are the bases. Okay, for me to add the base there, I'll then under structure, I'll go to isolated page. Okay, I have that one. It's not the dimensions that I want, so I'm going to click here. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to change a few things. Let me say 1.4 by 1.4. I want it to be 1.4 by 1.4. Let's say 3.5. Let me just delete that one. Click OK. Okay. I said this one is going to be 3.5. The first point where I just changed the name. I did not change much, I just changed the name. So for me to change the actual parameters of this thing, I'll have to go into these parameters and change them manually. 1.4 by 1.4 and all that. Okay, now I have this base. As you can see, it has changed. Then I'll click on this one so that it adds it to the grid points. As you can see, it's all added in there. Then I'll click on the OK. I think I'm done. I'm going to escape a few times. Then I'll go to the 3D model. This is the base, the column, then this is the beam. Okay. So now, when it comes to reinforcement, I will have to, let me go to, let's say, the ground level here. I want to add a section right through this one so that I can better see the structure of these things so that I can reinforce it better. So for me to do that, I will have to go to here. I will have to go to views here. Then under views, I'll have to go to, maybe I'll use this call out. Okay. I'll have to start from there to there, maybe. Then hit escape a couple of times. I'll double click on this one. Okay, I made a mistake there. This isn't what I wanted to do. Let me just close that one out. Okay. When I was at this level here, this is not what I really wanted to do. Let me delete that one. Okay. I will use this section instead. Okay. The section will start here and end there. Okay. So this has to be reduced a bit so that it presents the thing better. Okay. I'll double click there. As you can see, this is the basic section. This is the column. And this is the beam. Okay, so however, for me to do my reinforcement, let me start with this part, which is the base. If I click on the base, I will see this one, which is the reinforcement that I want. It's called the rebar. That's shortcut for reinforcement bars. If I click on that one, then comes a list of all the reinforcement bars that we have. These reinforcement bars are not the ones that we use in Southern Africa. In Southern Africa, we normally go with what South Africans use, which is so I'm going to delete all the rebars that we have. I'll click on family here. I'm going to go to rebar here. Okay, so I'm going to click on the first rebar. I'll go all the way to the bottom. Here I'll click on the shift button and select all of them, and I'm going to delete them by clicking on the delete button. Let me see. Okay, right now if I select this thing and then I click on the rebar, okay, let me see if there's anything left. There's no more rebar, so I'll try to place the rebar and go to where I would normally find the rebar. Then I'll find no rebar. Then I'll click on the yes. Now I want to load in the rebar. So for me to do that, I'll go back all the way. This is where I've explained where we got to this point where we've got South African rebar. I'll select on that one. Then I'll go to reinforcement structural rebar shapes. I'll open that one. I'll forget these ones. I'll go for the South African ones. I'll select the first one. I'll go all the way to the bottom and I'll click the shift button and select it. So I'm going to load these rebars. These are the ones that we use normally in Southern Africa, like here in Zimbabwe. Okay, now it's loading in the rebar. Once it's done with loading in the rebar, I'll then place them, and then I'll then propagate them. I will be explaining how I go about that so that you have no problems in future. As you can see, this is the South African rebar that we've been using. Especially, you know this by the shape code 20. That one is just a straight line. The ones that are used normally in the British standard that are very common, the 001 is the straight bar. Okay. Now I'm going to be selecting the actual rebar that I want. It's 38. Let me go to the one, this one. Okay, once I do that, you can see the rebar has been placed here. Okay. Now, this is where we have the dimension, the thickness, and the reinforcement type. Okay, let me use the white oak one now. As you can see, this is the white oak one. Now, it's just a simple line. For me to make it more visually appealing, let me use the fine one. As you can see, this is how it looks in this. Now the scale that's normally used is maybe 25. Okay. Now this is how you're going to place the rebar. If I place it like this, it will be just one bar. As you can see, it reads single here. So I'm going to, instead of single, I'm going to use maximum spacing. Then the maximum spacing that I want in this case is 200. Okay, when we do this, as you can see, this is the rebar, and I'm going to place it there. Now, instead of parallel to work plane, I'm going to say perpendicular this time. I'm going to place it there. Okay. Now that I've done that, let me just move in. Let me just do a bit of movement here. I'm going to move it all the way inside there. I'm going to move it inside there. Then I'm going to move it up a bit so that it sits on top, something like that. Okay. Now, what is happening is, as you can see, you are not supposed to see these bars that are going upwards. So for me to correct that one, let me go to the top of base here. If you click on this thing here, you will see the depth of view is going on this way. I'm going to reduce it to something like this. so that if you come to the section here, you only see these dots. This is the proper representation that you are supposed to have. Okay, now that you have this rebar, you select that one, then you click on the control, then you select the other one. Okay, now the rebar that I have, I'm going to let me go to the 3D model here. As you can see, I've selected that rebar. I'm going to propagate it. Okay, I'm going to propagate that rebar. Let me see, how do I do that? Select host, select all rebar in host. This is what I want. This is all the rebar in host, and I'm selecting the host here. Okay, I can copy it manually from this one to this one to this one, or I can just propagate the rebar. Do that. Then select source face. Let me use maybe this face that is on this side. Okay, then destination face, I'm going to select the same face on this one. I'm going to select the destination face on this one. Okay, I'm going to select the destination face on this one. Okay, I made a bit of a mistake there. I needed to, if I select this one, I have to go here and say select all rebar in host. Select, I need to select all the rebar that is in this host. Let me do this. If I do this, I was saying select all rebar in host. Okay, it will select all the rebar, just the rebar. Then from there, I will then propagate that rebar. Okay, by doing that, align by face, align by host. Okay, so I'll select this host, destination host, that one, destination host, that one, destination host, that one. Okay, I think I've copied the rebar nicely. Oh, I made a mistake. Let me just repeat. I select these things, then right click, select rebar in host. You just select only the rebar there. Then I'll go here to propagate. Then I'll propagate by host, and I'll select this host. I'll select that host. I'll select that host. It doesn't matter where I would have clicked on the host, and it will just follow that as it follows the host. Then I'll click on this finish button. Once I'm done with that, I think I'm done. Now I've copied the rebar to all of these ones. Now I want to reinforce this part. Now I'll go back to that section here. Now I'll select the column, which is the one that I want to reinforce. Okay, then I'll click on the rebar. Okay, once I'm done with that, now instead of me choosing a shape here and placing it here, I would rather go for sketch. And I'll click on the sketch button here. Okay, I'll click on the host again, then I'll draw my line from there all the way down to that point there. Then it will turn in that direction. Let's say, let me just end it like that. And I'll hit escape once, then I'll click on this. Okay, right. This is how you reinforce your bar. Now, if I select this thing, I'll then go to edit sketch here. Okay, now I'll use a dimension line. This dimension line, let me use it from there. Sorry about that. Used it not in the correct one. From that point to that point. Okay, now I can now simply select this. Okay, escape. Let me select this. Let me move to this modifier. I will select this thing. Now I can change this dimension here. Let's say it's 800, which is the splice. 800. As you can see, when I have edited this one is changed. Okay, I'll click on the OK button. Then I'll then continue. Let me see. There's been a change here. There's been a break here since it was moved all the way to the top there. Now I will click on this one, trim and extend. I'll trim and extend this one. As you can see, it's done. Then I'll click here. Okay, as you can see, there's going to be an 800 millimeter. Let me select here. Let me select this one. From there, selected it in the wrong way. Let me measure from this point all the way to that. It's 800, which is exactly what I wanted. Now I have this bar. This is the first bar that I have. If I select this one, instead of single, I want to use a fixed number here. Let's say it by default is 3. Let me reduce it to 2. Let me just leave it as 3 so that it's easier to visualize. Okay, as you can see, there are 3 bars that are turning like that. Let me change here to fine so that it's more clear. If you can see, if I click on the shift button here and then I orbit, you can have a better understanding of how it's going to appear. As you can see where the bars are. Okay, now let me go back to this section. Now this is just the rebar this is just the main bar. Okay, if we select this main bar, as you can see it's white off. Let me change it maybe to Y16. If you change that one, it just changes its thickness. I'm going to mirror it, but before I am done, let me just first of all finish up with the other rebar. Okay, now I select this one. Let me go to rebar here. Okay, when I go to rebar, this time let me use the 37 one, which is this one. Okay, I'm going to edit here. As you can see, it's going in the wrong direction. Let me use perpendicular like this. As you can see, this is what is going to happen. Let me move it to this side. Okay, now this is where we are. If I click here, the bar will be added. Okay, then I will select this bar. I said they have to be maximum spacing 3. No, this is not what I want. I wanted to use a fixed number of 3, which is okay. Now I'm going to edit sketch here. So if I just go here, edit sketch, I'm just going to edit this one. I want it to end here, somewhere here. Okay, so for me to do that, I'm going to select this dimension 2. Then I will measure from this point here, maybe all the way that point there. Okay, once I'm done, I'm going to click escape. Then I will use this pick tool and then select this rebar. As you can see, this now is a dynamic. I'm going to reduce it to 0. Okay, as you can see, it has changed. It has moved this to that point. Okay, now I'm going to use the trim and extend one. I will then use it to trim and extend that one. Okay, then here maybe I'll just hit OK. I think I'm done. Okay, as you can see, this is the rebar that we have. Let me change it from a 12mm to a 16mm one. Now, as you can see, it's very difficult for you to tell which one is which here. It's very difficult. So for you to do with that, you have to select this one, maybe together with this one. Let me start with this one. Then I'll use there's a displacement tool that I want to use. If you select this bar here, now you go to displace element. Displace element does not really move the element where it is. It's just for visual. It's just for the visuals. I have moved this one for the visuals so that you see as though there's a gap here. In the section, it looks like there's something has moved, but if you go to the 3D one, you'll see that nothing is moved there. It's just for appearance in the presentation. Okay, now we are going for the links. We're going to select this one. Now, then we go to the rebar here. Okay, the link should be something in the 60s. Let me just check. It's this one, the 61. Okay, as you can see, it's in the wrong orientation. I'm going to change it. As you can see, that is the right one. It's spaced by 200 here. Now, as you can see here, it's white off. Let me reduce it to 1.8. Now, if you come here, those are the links. You have them like that. Okay, escape once. Now you select this one. Then you move this one all the way down there, so that the columns, so that the links start right at the bottom in the base there. Okay, as you can see, this is how it's done. Now, I'm going to select this and then hold on the control there and select that other one. once I have selected these two, I'm going to use the mirror one. Okay, let me just do one by one. Select that one, and then I'll use this mirror line. I'll select on that one, then it will create another one on that side. I'm going to select this one. Now this is a displacement. Now you can't mirror it. I don't know why, but you just can't. Okay, so maybe I will have to reset this one. Okay, now I've resetted that one. I'm going to select it. I'm going to mirror it like that. Now presentation is the last thing on the table, so I'll then select this one. Then I'll go to that displacement here, displace element. Then I'll move it right into the inside there. Then I'll select this one. Then I'll then displace it again. Then I'll move it a bit inside there, so that they don't intersect and confuse the people that are going to use them. Okay, as you can see, this drawing is now perfect. Now there's only one thing that is a bit of a problem. According to the code that we use in Southern Africa mostly, we only show the first and the last link. Okay, so I will then select, if I select the links, I will then select this one, the first and the last, which is important. So now we are only showing the first one and the last one. Now here, I don't think it's necessary for us to have links in the beams. Okay, let me just ignore that for some time. Okay, undo that one. Okay, now I want to select the links here. As you can see, this is the link. I'm going to move the link just under the beam. Okay, now this is the reinforcement that we have. Okay, now we are going to go to let's just go to the 3D model here, which is this one. Now what I want to do is I want to select these things. Now I can filter out here, just filter the rebar, but I'm not going to do that. Let me do something a bit different here. I'm going to right click and go select all rebar in host, and to select only the rebar in that host. Okay, now I'll click on the propagate here, then I'll propagate by host, then I'll click on this host here, then I'll click on this one, I'll click on this one, and I'll click on that one. This one is much faster, that's why I chose to do it that way. Then I'll click on this finish, and let me know to save for now. Now we have all the rebar in the bases and the columns, and this is going to be the section that we're going to be using, so that we detail the rebar should be detailed. Okay, now let's go somewhere else. Let's go to this is something that I could use. This one is it's a tool that I'm not going to talk about right now. Okay, let me go to the sections here. We go to the first floor here. Okay, this is the section that we use in the first place. Let's go to another section, maybe starting here and ending here. Okay. Now I'm going to reduce this one to somewhere very close like that. I'm going to double click the head. Okay, now I'm not really interested in these things. I'm only interested in that part, just the beam here. Okay, so I'm going to remove all this rebar. I'm not going to delete it as it is needed. I'm just going to filter out what I want to filter. I'm just going to filter just the rebar. This, I click OK. It has only selected the rebar. Then the rebar that I've selected, I'm going to hide it by using this one. It's called hide in view. I'm going to hide elements like that. Okay, now it's gone. Let me select that one. I don't know why I didn't get that. I'm going to select Control and select that one and hide these two. Let me just hide those ones. Okay. Now, as you can see, we will just want to detail this beam now. Okay. If we select this beam, we are going to go here where it says rebar. Okay. Select that one. Now, once we are done with that, this is the link. Let me start with the link. I'm just going to click on the link. As you can see, the rebar has been placed, and then the spacing is already placed there. Okay, now I'm done with that one. Let me go to the top reinforcement. So I'll select this one. Then I'll choose the rebar there. Then I'll choose that shape code 38, which is this one, as you can see. Okay, then I'm going to change from this one to this one. Okay, as you can see, it goes all the way to the start and the finish like that. Okay, now the dimensions, let me use the Y16 for this one. Okay, to do this. Now I think I'm done. Let me change this one to a white painting and put it at the bottom here, like that. I think I'm done. Escape a couple of times. Then I'm going to change the scale to fine. As you can see, this is how the rebar has been placed. If you select this one, you find out there are 3 bars here. Let me, maybe I can just go to a fixed number here. Maybe I'll reduce them to 2. Then I'll go here to the bottom one. I'll go to a fixed number here. Maybe I'll leave them as 3. I think I'm good to go. This is the rebar that we have placed. Then we will have to move it a bit so that it starts inside there, and move it a bit inside here. Okay, this is how you place your rebar. When you select on this rebar, then you only show the first and the last one like that. This is how we draw the rebar. Now, when it comes, the last part of it is the detailing part. This is the part where we add in. Okay, welcome back. Now we are just going to do something that is it's very, very simple. We just want to add the reinforcement, detailing, the write-up, that text that we put in here. Okay, for us to do that, we select the rebar that we want to name. Let's say this one. Let me maximize on this one, and then we click on the tag like that. Now, I don't want to save for now. Okay, as you can see, this is the rebar. Okay, let me escape a couple of times. I'm going to click on the tag here. I'm going to click on this rebar that I want to name. We click on tag. We go to the rebar itself. Let's see. We're having some kind of problem. I don't know what's happening. Okay, click here. We click on the rebar like that. Now, we just have to add the rebar. Like this. Okay, we click on. Let's go to where it reads annotate. Okay, I'm going to click on take. That I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to take that one. Let me escape a couple of times. Okay, I want to add a tag on the. Let me start with this multi rebar. You click on the multi rebar. These are things that are spaced, like links, for example. When you click on the links, then you come up with the rebar there. It then writes up the write-up. Now I want to change it from a horizontal to a vertical one. Then I'm going to place it like that. So it has already counted the number of rebars that we have. We have 25 of them, like that. Okay. I'm going to be looking at the code so that you can place it yourself. Let me look at the tag here. You can then go to edit family here. Now this is how you write it up. You start with the quantity that counts the number of members that are there. Then type mark, this is the type of steel, like Y16 for example, Y20. So type name is the diameter in the type of steel. Then that bar mark is now called the rebar number. Then the last one is called the spacing. Okay? Once you have done that and you load it into your software, you just edit the one that you have, the tag that you have there. Then you come up with this one. As you can see, it actually annotates everything. Now we want to take this one, so you click on the tag there, and you click on this one, then you click on your okay. I don't know what's taking place here. I think it has something to do with using the wrong tag for this thing. Okay, if you click on the tag and then you select this one, then you go to the rebar that you want to take, like that one. Okay, as you can see, it's trying to take here, and now we are having a bit of a problem. We just click here and click OK. Let's see, there's a bit of a problem somewhere. Okay, let me try to fix that problem. Let me just click a bit of escape here. You can create your own tags by doing this. You go to new here. Instead of choosing a project, you go for a family. Then under this family here, you then select the kind of tag that you want. This is a generic base, a generic. So what we want is more of a rebar. Okay, these are empirical, these are metric. Let me go for something that is very close to let me go for a general one. Let's see which one is good. It's going to be, let me see. You can go to general face. I want in annotation this French Russian. Okay, let me go for the English. Which one is it going to be? Empirical, generic, adaptive. Right. Not very sure which one is it going to be. Okay, let me go for English here. Let me go to annotation here. Let me go to maybe general, generic, take that, and click on OK. Now, when you open it like this, you get here where you were supposed to add your own tag. This one is not very important. I'm going to delete it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create my tag. Let me see. When I click on the create, click on the label here. I'm going to draw it somewhere here. Okay. Like I said, if you were watching, I said the first thing is the quantity. We go for the quantity here. What kind of tag is this? Close this one first. Let me start here. You click on this one. These are the sizes of the rebar itself. You're interested in that one. This is the category here. I'm going to select structure. Under structural here, I'm going to choose the rebar. Structural fabrication, structural rebar here. Okay. Now, when I'm done with that, when I've selected that one, I'll then go to create here, then click on this one, and then go here. Now, once I've selected the structural rebar, it knows that this tag is for structural rebar. Now, the first thing is the quantity. After the quantity, I'll go to rebar type name. I'll add that one. Then from there I'll go to rebar number. Okay, let me just end here for this one. I'm going to put in a stroke here like that. I think we are good to go. Let me just end there. Let me zoom in a bit. This one. Click here. No, I don't want to add anything else. I'm just going to modify this one. So I'm going to pull it out so that it goes right to the center. Then I'm going to place it like that. Okay, I'm going to delete this one. It's got nothing to do with what I want to achieve. I'm going to load it into the project. Let me load it into this project as project 1. Okay. Once I have done that, and it knows it's a rebar, okay, I'll then go to the section which is here. I'm going to use it as a tag like that. As you can see, it has placed the rebar as it should. 3x16. This is how you do it from scratch. I think I've shown you how to do it. Okay, this one is vertical. Let me put it in the horizontal manner. let me add a tag here, like that, like this. Okay, then on the arrow here, let me do a bit of editing here so that I have this corrected once and for all. There's none. No, I want a field 30-degree arrow, like that. I'll apply that one. Click OK. As you can see, it's now putting in the label. Okay, that. Let me move this one this side. Okay, then I can then use this. I can then follow this and do it on the other side like that. Okay, let me take this one as well. Okay, now this one. I think we are now done with the heading of the rebar. This one is the number 1, as you can see. Okay, now we have these ones that are multiple. For example, these ones, this means like I want to add in rebar for this one. I want to detail all of them at once. There is something that you can do. You can go here and say, and click on this with annotation here, then hit escape a couple of times. Under annotation here, you select this one, this multiple one here, then you click on this one to select all of them at once like that. Then I think this is much more clear. Okay, now we now know these rebars, we now know we have these ones, and we now know we have all these rebars. This is now as clear as day, as clear as it can ever get. Okay, now I want to remove these rebars since they are not important in this case. I'm going to select everything on this side like that. Then I'm going to, instead of me just deleting, I'm going to right click here and go select rebar by host. Okay, then select all the rebar in that host. I'm going to hide it in this view like that. Then I'm going to go here, I'm going to select this one. I'm going to hold down the control button. Okay, I'm going to select this one. I'm going to hold on the control button. I'm going to select that one. I'm going to, let me just hide them on the one like that. I'm going to select this one. I'm also going to hide it. Okay, I think now we are now left with only the bars that are important to us in this instance of a column, which is this one. Okay, once you have this, now what we need to do is we need to hide all the things that are not necessary. The first thing to hide is part of this thing. We need to add a break line somewhere here. For us to do that now, to add a break line there, we have to go to this annotate to this one, this region, so that fill this complex thing. Then I have to select a detail thing here. Okay, before I go there, let me just load it in. That I'll click here. I have to load it in. This thing that we want to use, since we're in this, we have to go a bit back here, all the way. Now we go to annotations, right? Under annotations, we go to where do I find the break line? Is it structure? I think it's structural. Then I'm looking for break line. I think I'm a bit lost here. Under the annotation one, I'm going to go for break line. Let me see if I can find it anyway. Here, break line, structural, general, structural, architectural. You look here under the architectural. I don't think I can find it. There is a symbol that looks like a broken line there that is used to show. It is used here, detail, item. I'm not really interested in that. Let me see. Arrow. I want a break line like. Let me go back here and go to detail items. Under detail items, let me go to this one, the general one. I think it's under general. This one is the break line. I'm going to select this one. This is the one that I want. Okay, it's being upgraded to 2023. Okay. Now, if I place it like this, I will then press the space button maybe once. Let me see. No, I did it the wrong way. Let me do this. I will press space twice. Like that, place it here. As you can see, I'll click on the escape button. Now if I click here, I'll then drag this one all the way to the bottom, drag it all the way to the top, and I'll drag this part all the way there. As you can see, it is masked. It's actually under there, but it's covered up. Now this is what is done to these lines. Okay, now I can select these lines and then hide them. I can select these ones, then I'll hide them if I have no use for them. That is, now this is the column that we have. We have a column here. This is the section of the column. This is the reinforcement. Now, when we click on this one, we can now do what is called, we can change the colors. Okay. We do it by selecting column. Now we go here, edit by category. Okay. So before I continue, I want to use, this is the cut section. Now under the cut section, I want to use, let's say a solid color. Here, let's say it's white, that, so okay, then apply, it will change this one to white. Now it's now more clear. Now, when it comes to the cut line, which is the line that is outside there, I'll use a solid line. Let me make it red this time, so that it's more clear. Let me apply that change, as you can see. Okay, now, I think we are done. Say okay. So now, the column is now very visible. Let's go to the base. I think I'll just do the same thing. You can just follow along as I'm doing with this. I'm going to select here and go to this. Then I'll go to the cut, because this is in section. I'll then select the color here and make it solid. I'll select the color and make it white. Then I'll click on OK. Once I'm done with that, I can click on apply so that it turns to white, and so that I can easily check. I'll go to the cut line here. I'll make it solid. Then I'll change the color maybe to red, like I did on the first one. Then I'll click on the apply. Then okay. Now we have this base as clear as it gets. You can make this one red and this one black. It will be all up to you. This one is in section and it's connected. Now it's a matter of adding the dimensions. You click on this align dimension to. Okay, you can measure from this point to that point. Then you add that dimension there. From this point to that point, you add the dimension there. From this point to that point, from this point to that point, then you align it with that one. Then you can measure from this point to the center there. Then go to the other side like that. You click it there. Then you can reduce. You can move these lines all the way down like that. It's allowed. You move this all the way down like that, so that it doesn't interfere. Then you click on this side, that side, you move it all the way there. Okay. I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, now you can measure from here maybe to the bottom of that. Okay, it is 2 meters if you still remember. Then you can measure from that point all the way right to the top, maybe it's to this point like that. Then you just get these ones. Then you can measure from the top to the bottom of this one. And you can do that. Then you can just move it away a bit like that. Move this. Let me escape a bit. Let me select this one. Let me move this point all the way to that point. Let me select that one. Move this point all the way to that point. That. Click on this one. Let me move this point all the way to that point. This gives a bit of distance between the dimensions and the actual thing that we are dimensioning, so that it becomes more clear. I think this is as clear as it gets when it comes to columns. This is the rebar. Let me just move. If I select this one and I press the down arrow like that, then move the whole thing downwards. I think this is as clear as it gets. This is the column from a section view. Okay. I think I'm done with this one. Thank you for your time.